I'm a savage. Yeah. Classy, bougie, ratchet. Yeah. Sassy, moody, nasty. Yeah. Acting stupid. What's happening? What's happening? Bitch, I'm a savage.
And I just thought of a cool video. I'm just gonna tell you guys basically how I even got to perform at the Saweetie concert in Arizona. I forgot the day I performed, but yeah. So a choreographer by the name of Genzai, shout out to him. He posted on his timeline like, oh, you know, Saweetie's looking for dancers for her upcoming concert or whatever. So I saw that and I clicked it away in my head. And I was just like, okay, cool. I'm going to come back to this later. So the day came up for the auditions, right? So, this is my song. So the day came up for the auditions. And I was already nervous. I went to go play volleyball that night. But I packed the extra bag in my car. Just in case I went to the audition. Like, I was just super nervous because in my head, it was just like, I bet all the best dancers are going to be there. Why would they choose me? So, I ended up going. Now, I play sand volleyball. So, I was kind of dirty. So, I did change in the car and everything. So, I just went in. I'm super nervous. Like, my palms are sweating or whatever. So, so they start teaching the routine. And when I saw the routine, I was relieved because I did learn this routine back in a previous class. So I'm like, whew, thank God. Because since I know this routine already, I ain't got to press too much about learning it. It just could be a refresher. So we learned the routine or whatever. And a couple of people come in, about 3 people, a girl and like 2 guys. So I'm guessing they were management for the whole event or whatever. So they were going to be the ones who chose the girls that danced. So, so they were looking at us through this window at first. And I was right by the window. So I was just super nervous. I was like, ugh. So we went over the routine, whatever. So they came out and spoke to us. So they separate us in like groups or whatever. So I think I went second. So, you know, when it was my turn, it was like probably 4 girls on the floor at a time. So it was my turn to go. And after I was done, they were just like, do it again. Do it again. Do it again. They had us like rerunning the whole routine, like back to back to back. And I had bad stamina. I know, Diamond, you're a dancer. How could you have bad stamina? It's very possible. So they just had us keep running it over and over. So I was out of breath. Like, when I'm telling you, and this routine with like a lot of drops, like boom, a lot of energy. I was out of breath. I was like, but I kept going. So after everybody got done trying out and whatever, they chose the girls. I was so nervous. I think they were like, okay, everybody in group 2 or whatever. I was like, was I in group 2? Wait, me? Like, me? Like, I was just so shook. So, yeah, that's how I got into, or even got picked for the Saweetie concert. I was very tired. Like, I wanted to cry. Like, as soon as I got in the car, I wanted to cry because I didn't think I would make it because I just felt like, oh, there's so many dancers there. Like, ain't no way they're going to choose me. But that was just the highlight of my life. But the process of rehearsals, yo, that's a whole different show. Like, we went to rehearsals. Now, with this being like my first major, you know, thing. So we went to rehearsal. And then probably the next day will pop up and it'll be another rehearsal. So I'm thinking we're going to learn the dance that we learned at the last rehearsal. Y'all, tell me why Genzai would drop a whole new routine on us the next rehearsal when I barely know the last routine. So that was a major life lesson. And like, that was just major. Like, we had to learn about maybe 6 routines. And like each rehearsal, we learned a new routine. So it was basically like You learn this routine one day, you barely got it down packed, or you ain't got it down packed yet. But when you come back the next day, you're learning a whole different routine, and you got to piece all those routines together. And then when we pieced all of those routines together, we had to learn transitions. So it was just very nerve-wracking, especially the day of the performance. When we went backstage, I was just like, whew, whew. I was so nervous. I was like, and the difference with that is like the floor that we were performing on was very rough. Like the studio floor we would perform on, baby, the studio floor we would perform on was soft. It was nice. But the actual floor we performed on, and there's a lot of people messaging me, it was very rough. And there was like a move where you have to jump and then do a back bend and then come back up and whoosh, whoosh, and all of that stuff. And fuck my life. So there was a routine that we did that required that. And on the floor, I actually scraped my knee. Like my knee was bleeding. Because after that, boom, and then we went back and then ta-ta, we actually got on the floor and then boom. So when we got on the floor, I must have dropped really hard because my knee was bleeding. Like, but technically, I didn't want it to make it super duper long. That's technically how I even got to perform at Saweetie's concert. It was amazing. There were so many people there. I was nervous. But moral of the story is, don't give up. You know, because it's crazy. Because if I would have never auditioned, I would have just been stuck with what if. What if I would have made it? So the fact that at least, my thing is, at least if you audition, you know if you would have made it or not. At least you have that certainty in your head. Opposed to not auditioning, thinking you're automatically not going to, what's the word? Thinking you're automatically not going to make the cut, but then you do. So, yeah. Chase your dreams. You know, don't let nobody tell you you can't do it, because obviously you can, because I did it. So yeah, but that's just it. Like, comment, subscribe on this video. My handles will be in the description box down below. My Instagram, my Snapchat, my Twitter, all down below as usual. Thank you guys for taking the time to look at this video. I really appreciate it, and my eyes watering. But yeah, I love you guys. Mwah.